All right. Trends that must stop in FPS games from ya boy Enders. Let me see what he's got to say about the FPS games.
Recently, I read a comment, and it said something along the lines of Enders, make a video about the things you never want to see in video games ever again. Or at least make a video about things that
Pay to win mechanics, paid cosmetics. Remove those two things, and all of a sudden, you will just get better games. Now, how profitable that'll be, who knows? But if you can remove those things, I really think that games would be better for it. And I'm talking about the game itself. I'm not talking about is it good for the dev financially? Is it good for the customer financially? It's just like I'm looking at it from a video, the best thing for the video game to have a good video game. That's what I think.
you wish they would stop putting in games. So that's exactly what I did. In this video, we're going to talk about the things that I detest, okay? Some things that when I see them in a game, I immediately tweak. And of course, feel free to leave your picks in the comment section down below for things that you would remove from all games, or just wish games would stop adding. And quick reminder, guys, when you watch this video, the Delta Force playtest is right around the corner, so be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I plan on covering that game heavily. Like the video and follow the stream. First link in the description. I stream on this YouTube channel as well as Twitch at the very same time, so be sure to turn notifications on. And with that, I will start off this list by mentioning an item that I really detest in all forms, in essentially every single game. And I dislike it so much that at this point it's just sort of like blind rage. People will probably type arguments as to, oh, this should be in the game because there's team play or something. No. And the thing I'm talking about is riot shields. Oh my god, it doesn't matter what game it's in, whether it's Dozer in Battlefield 2042, or if it's Call of Duty, or if it's Rainbow Six Siege. Riot shields are just consistently irritating, annoying, counterintuitive things that
Uh, Counterintuitive. I don't think they're counterintuitive. Obviously, if you put a riot shield on, like I think in real life, like some riot shields are meant to withstand like certain calibers of bullets, but the general consensus is that it's like a riot shield can withstand like at least some, like, most small calibers, but you can't have it be like too accurate to real life because then it would be like more complicated. So it's understandable for a game company to gamify the riot shield. However, I understand that simply putting an item on that goes on either your back or your front that completely nullifies damage in a shooting game is very frustrating. And I would probably agree with him on that point. The riot shields, or at least from a competitive standpoint, like I remember making riot shield classes in some of the old Call of Duties and simply leveling them up just so I could get like the gold version of the riot shield, or like the gold title with like the gold skulls, and it's like riot shield. And just for the sake that I could say I experienced the game with this item, and because I did that, I now view the map in a different way, and also I got enough kills with it to say that I grinded for like a thing in it. So outside of that, I mean, gameplay wise, riot shields are not fun to like go against, because simply slapping an item on your ass that just nullifies damage, or having a player just walk up on you, crouch down, put the riot shield in front of them, and have like one of their buddies walk behind them, literally in their ass, right on top of you, only for them to like quick swap to like some gun when you hit the reload button, and then just like whip out like some dual like pistols or whatever. It's kind of annoying. Not kind of, it's really annoying. But yeah.
Should not be in first-person shooter games. And it might not even be the fact that riot shields are in the game. It might just be the a type of players that tend to gravitate towards using riot shields. They tend to be the super irritating, trolly type of players that are actually just dog shit at the game, but they can fluke out kills because riot shields are just cheesy by design. Overall, riot shields, I hate everything about them. I hate the people that use them. I hate the design of them, and I couldn't care less what argument you try to type to me in the channel
Yeah.
about why they should be in games. I disagree, and I don't care. But moving forward, I think a lot of people will agree with me. I expect some controversy on the first one.
It's not that controversial. I mean, if you're like halfway decent at FPSs, it's understandable for you to completely hate an item that nullifies all the damage that you're doing. But I get it. I mean, it's even more weird when people are using that item and it's not competitive. Like, I could understand if it was used for like a competitive thing, but when people just go out and just use it, and the main thing that they say is, oh, I'm just using it because it's fun. I don't know. If you want to experience that type of gameplay, I'm sure there's like other games that support it, like that type of gameplay, uh, that are not in like some of the games that he's listed already. But I mean, to each their own. I mean, that's it's the developer is God. If they want it in, they're gonna put it in.
Wall hacks.
Oh,
Stop adding wall hacks to games.
ooh, scans, wall hacks. He's spitting on that one. Yeah, wall hacks are, yeah, they're legal walls in the game, but only for a short amount of time. It's not like, it's like an actual cheat of walls or something like that, where you can just have it on all the time. Um, but I don't know if he's gonna mention this. Like, the main counter to like wall type items that scan or scan meta of like any type of game is that usually in FPS, seldom has any FPS actually got footstep sounds done correctly. There's probably like a couple, but for the most part, they all manage to fuck it up in their audio. And because of that, players feel the need to compensate. So one way to do that is carrying an item or using a character ability that has like a scan on them, and that completely nullifies the like sound cue for positioning and just general game sense, game awareness that you're supposed to have from having like a halfway decent sound system in your game. But that's not the case for most games, and it just sucks that having a scan type of character, a scan item, or something that just gives you the ability to see through walls is it doesn't feel good. I mean, if you're a casual player, you think it's awesome. If you're like a slightly good player, you probably think it's like bullshit. It's like,
Ever since, I would say, Apex Legends with Bloodhound,
yeah,
there has been an unbelievable surge of wall hacks being in every single game ever. And there are various degrees of wall hacks, right?
yeah.
There are egregiously overpowered wall hacks, like if you remember Pike's wall hack from Battlefield 2042.
Bro, even before that, like in some of the older Call of Duties, like I think original Modern Warfare 3. I think there was like a grenade that you can like just chuck and it would like pop up and like scan everybody. That was either in Modern Warfare 3 or Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 3. One of those games, there was like some grenade that did that. And yeah, it's just like so good.
One point, it was basically cheating. Just like straight up free cheats whenever you activated her ability, then you have like more mild versions of wall hacks, but they're still incredibly powerful. But regardless of strength, they need to stop adding wall hacks to these FPS games. It seriously detracts from the gameplay. It's cheesy. There's a reason why people call them wall hacks instead of the ability name, because people literally view them as free cheats. Stop adding them. Ooh, and if you thought the first two were good and annoying, ooh, I'm passionate about this one, guys. Ooh.
Okay, so we have scans, and what else did he say? Oh, the riot shield. A riot shield scan. What else?
Oh boy, turrets. Fucking turrets. And I'll extend.
I could understand why vendors don't like turrets. His main game is Battlefield, and this is probably going to be game specific for this one. Oh boy, let me hear this. I mean, because let me hear.
Extend that to AI damage as well. So examples of this, right? Boris turret, Battlefield 2042. Robot dog, Battlefield 2042. And really any sort of AI damage / turret in any game that you set down and it just shoots you without being controlled automatically. It basically has cheats of its own because you come around the corner and just starts shooting you. It causes chip damage that you wouldn't have taken otherwise.
So I could probably already see the trend of must stop trends in FPS games. Probably anything that deviates from the actual player aiming and shooting is probably going to be an FPS trend that is going to be looked down upon, and understandably so. I mean, with turrets, I mean, one of the earliest versions that I experienced as a kid was Black Ops 2 turrets. It was a kill streak, and depending on where you stuck that bad boy in the map, generally you wanted to stick that bad boy on like the highest spot so it could get like the farthest reaching cone, and you're golden if you can get up there and set that turret down, dude. And then much the same way that, you know, Call of Duty has like turrets that you can set down, there were also kill streaks that you had, you know, the AC-130, the attack helicopter. What was it in like Black Ops? There was like or was it Black Ops or Modern Warfare? Or was it Advanced Warfare? You could call down like a little tank thing, and you could either remote control it yourself or just set it on like auto. And yeah, that was another powerful kill streak. You know, essentially anything that lets you be able to shoot double the amount of bullets, like you can set it and forget it. It is just automatically going to be more powerful. But I mean, it's super. Those types of mechanics, I would imagine, those types of things are probably fine for like public play, and probably not so much for competitive play, I would guess. I mean, because to my knowledge, I don't think Battlefield 2042 has like a competitive mode or a rank mode or anything like that. And it's just like public matches all day. Because even if I think about it, like in Black Ops 2, like Call of Duty Black Ops 2 back in the day, and you go on like ranked mode, there would be certain items, certain attachments that were just X'd out. Like you couldn't play it because it was too powerful. It was like the CDL gentleman's agreement that you that rank play should probably not include these items because they're too powerful and for competitive play. And one of the items that was kept was the turret that you could set down, which is crazy to think back in the day. So it's super annoying. It's really good. It's essentially adding like another person onto the team with a perfect aim. And it's just super annoying, but yeah.
They take too much time to kill. Sometimes they have too much health. Sometimes they shoot you through smoke. Sometimes they do too much damage. But generally speaking, I cannot stand the trend of there being a turret or just some variant of a turret in every single frickin' one of these games that comes out, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And this is sort of similar to the Riot Shield thing, where I said the people that play the characters with the turrets tend to just be absolutely irritating and annoying, just basically bad at the game. This is absolutely true for the people that play.
To counter this, if an item or a kill streak is generally viewed upon as being good or meta, there is nothing to stop a player from using it. People use the best guns all the time. People are always going to advocate for what is the best for themselves in games. No one is going around and using the worst guns, the worst attachments, the worst kill streaks in the game, unless they're doing like some sort of challenge or whatever. So while I get it that it's annoying and super like powerful, these things are, people have been doing this forever, for many years. People use the best things all the time. It's, you know, that old saying, you can always depend on a person to take the path of least resistance. And with that comes the best guns, the best attachments, the best kill streaks, the best items, the best class or whatever. And yeah, even the best input.
Turret characters, because dude, I swear these people play turret characters because they need the extra damage. They need a turret to put extra damage on people because they cannot aim. That's what it is. I have witnessed this firsthand playing Battlefield 2042. If you ever inspect a Boris player up close, you realize that the Boris players, more often than not, don't even realize they're playing a game. In fact, they don't even know where they are. They just aimlessly wander around and wait for their turret to beep and then shoot someone, and then they slowly walk in that direction. Honestly, it's kind of depressing to witness. Now, moving on from that to something completely unrelated and different, I wish games would stop adding useless animations that don't fit the theme of the game. And this is what I mean by this.
Oh, okay. So I'm kind of unfamiliar with this one. Pointless animations in shooting games. I get it. And I never really thought about those things as being like annoying. But I do get it in the sense that, you know, if I look at Call of Duty and look at some of the wonky finishers, that's like the point of a finisher. Or even like what was it, like old school Halo, or maybe what was it, Halo 3, or was it Halo 4, where they introduced like behind the kills, like you hold the melee and it does like a finisher, just to like, it was like longer than like a melee or whatever, but it was just cool looking. And then I don't know, like this is like a maybe one for me. Let me hear.
So, for instance, you take Battlefield 2042, for instance. Some of the weapons' reload animations are so long for no reason other than the fact that they decided to make the animation that long.
You don't think it would be for like balance or something like that? Like if a gun is, you know, there's multiple ways to balance a gun. One of the ways is to just, you know, if a gun is really strong in some way, it shoots out a lot of bullets or has a long mag or it does a lot of damage or something, you know, the developers will try to balance it in some negative way, you know, do the good thing and the bad thing. And in general, I usually think that like long reload times are pretty annoying, but I've just chalked it up as like, oh, it's just gun balancing.
And the animations I'm talking about are when you pull out a weapon, your guy has to like disable the safety, or he has to pull back the hammer on a pistol, or when he's reloading the gun, he decides to slowly reach for the magazine release, pull the mag out, take the empty magazine he just pulled out of the mag well, put it in his plate carrier, and then slowly reach for another magazine to put in the weapon. And this extends the animation by, like, I'm not even exaggerating, guys, 2 or like 1.5 seconds, which is an eternity in video game time. But I understand that some of those animations fit the theme of the game. If you have a more realistic shooter, say Arma, say Tarkov, I understand having a longer, more arduous reload animation that takes more time. But if you're playing Battlefield and your ammo system doesn't care about dropping a full mag on the ground, if your ammo system doesn't care about reserving magazines, why are you not just dropping the mag out of the gun and slapping a new one in there and having the reloads be at longest 3 seconds long? And another example of these animations are fall damage animations.
I never really thought of it like that, but then again, I haven't really played Battlefield 2042 either. Animations that don't fit the theme. I don't know. Maybe this is like a specific one for Battlefield 2042. I've just never thought about it long enough.
Animations. I understand there's a time and place for having, say, like your knees buckling when you drop from height in a game, but it has to fit the game. Again, put that in Arma, put that in Tarkov for a certain distance. But for Battlefield, stop it. Or for Call of Duty, no. I don't want this animation where I fall from 5 feet, my knees buckle, or I start to roll, or I can't move properly for 3 seconds after I drop. It's just a complete and utter disruption of the game flow. And maybe
I get it. Call of Duty and Battlefield are more or less, in my opinion, about the same game, about the same theme. They're both, depending on what version of the game you're looking at. It's, a modern day shooter or like slightly in the future. And in Call of Duty, you're supposed to be it's supposed to be like an arcade shooter where you're a super soldier. You can sprint forever. You can tactical sprint forever. Same thing in Battlefield, I would imagine. You are a pseudo super soldier type of deal. And like the needless long fall animations, that is kind of funny. And it does feel like it would suck. And yeah, it does seem kind of pointless, to be honest. Is that their way of like balancing you, or balancing like you being on top of some building? And it's like, if you want to get down, can't you just like pull your parachute or something? Or don't you have like a glider? Or isn't there fall damage in 2042? Or no? I mean, maybe not. Maybe there is. And it's like you only get that from like jumping like 5+ feet up and whatever. But yeah, it does seem a little bit out of place. And the whole reasoning, like the argumentation for like, oh, it's realistic, is I never really buy that, because there are tons of other instances of the developer gamifying a realistic thing that would happen, and not gamifying another realistic thing that would happen simply for the sake and using the argument of realism. So it's, just simply the developer cherry picking which things to and to not gamify. It's kind of silly, but again, the developer is God. They control everything. And I don't know, maybe if like the player base actually came together, like all like 5,000 of you, and say like, we don't want this, maybe they would do something.
Maybe some of you guys agree with this and have suggestions for other animations that I didn't cover. If you do, please comment down below. And the last one's going to be very controversial, but guys, I swear I'm onto something, and let me cook. Don't write me off just yet when you hear this. Shotguns. I
I don't like shotguns. Okay, let me hear before I start laughing.
I said it. Remove shotguns from video games. You know why? They're never properly balanced.
What? They're either too good or they're not good at all, I would imagine. Bro, there's this one Battlefield I played years ago where the dang shotguns were actually like realistic range. Holy crap, that was like the funnest Battlefield I ever played. I forgot which one, but the damn shotguns were shooting at like rifle range. I was like, is this supposed to be like this good? But I was a little kid when I did it, and I was like, damn, that's fucking badass. I understand why he wouldn't like shotguns. And I think part of the reason is probably has to do with latency. and the what is it called, the peeker's advantage, that is just simply in like most FPSs. If you got like some sort of class that's like really speedy and you're just running around with a shotgun and you like bunny hop around a corner, uh, on your screen you'll probably be able to see the person and be able to rip a shot off, but on their screen they they won't see you pop out until the last possible second, and you can't react that quickly. You know, you're only gonna be able to see the person hop out at like, I don't know, the reaction time you would need would probably be like, I don't know, like less than 100 milliseconds or something like that, just because of how the latency is in most FPS games. So that is one thing that, you know, is really annoying to verse against shotguns. And it depends on the developer, really. Like for FPS, I'm assuming he's talking about like multiplayer PvP FPS, because like none of this shit matters in like PvE FPS, like in Doom. You know, the shotguns are like some of the most awesome weapons to use and whatnot. But for multiplayer games, you know, it's again, the gun has to be balanced. And even when anytime I've gotten killed by a shotgun, I've never thought, oh, that was fair. That has never been the case at all, ever. um, yeah, but it's like, if you don't include a shotgun, that's like an entire gun category you're just simply leaving out for the sake of it's just an annoying gun. That I think that one would be a hard sell to an entire game audience.
They're always either overpowered or utterly useless. And the only games I've ever seen get shotgun balance correct are tack shooters and Quake. I'm serious. Almost every single other game, take BF4 for instance, shotguns in that game, utterly broken. Utterly broken, overpowered. One shots you from like 20 meters. Same in 2042.
Dang.
Same in BF5. Call of Duty, it's sort of give or take, but COD's had some
Yeah.
notoriously broken shotguns.
Oh yeah.
X-Defiant just recently made shotguns broken. But then on the flip side, like I mentioned, you have games that have utterly worthless and useless shotguns that make you wonder why they're even in the game in the first place. So you know what my solution is, guys? Literally stop putting them in games. Just stop it. It's very clear that shotguns are just a hit or miss weapon type.
Yeah.
And if you can't properly balance them, just quit it. And
The line of whether or not a shotgun is or is not properly balanced is so fine. I get why it's like really tough. I get it.
I know there's going to be some argument in the comments about, oh, well, aren't shotguns supposed to be good in close quarters? Or what constitutes a shotgun one-shotting from too far? Or this, that, and the other. It's all very dependent on the game. And I could make an hour video going through like all the separate details.
Yeah.
It's very complicated. But for the most part, shotguns are either overpowered or underpowered. That's my point. So those are some of the things that I can't stand seeing in modern gaming that I wish they would just stop doing. Please leave your list in the comment section down below if you have one. Hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Subscribe to the channel if you want to follow more Battlefield/FPS related content, especially if it relates to Delta Force, because that game is going to be covered by me heavily.
Cool.
I will be streaming it, and I will be streaming in general every single day, as I've always done for 6 years straight at this point. If you wish to catch some streams, they're right here on the YouTube channel, or you can hit the follow button on my Twitch, first link in the description. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Very cool. I dig it, man. There's like a ton of more mechanics that you could have gone over and whatnot, but I get it. You're just like trying to gloss over some of the basic stuff that most people can like relate to. Riot shield scans, needless animations, shotguns. Yeah, I mean, I think back when I was a kid, I don't think I really paid attention to any of those things. I was just playing a shooting game just to have fun. But the older I got, and like, you know, the more I tried to, you know, and me like transitioning from like controller to like M&K and getting a little bit better, it's like more and more FPSs try to add abilities and just things that aren't aiming into the game in order to compensate for the player base to for the player base's like lack of aim. I mean, because I don't know, man. Like the simple act of like putting a reticle on someone is just hard for most people, and I think that's like it's just really hard for a game developer to make a shooting game, to be honest. And if a game developer wants to like try to innovate in the FPS genre, I fully support them in that way. But whenever they start coming out with like XYZ abilities, things are like overpowered. It's just like, okay, it's another casual shooter. Okay, but if I'm trying to get a casual shooting experience out of a multiplayer shooter, there's a lot of single player shooters that offer a way better experience than a multiplayer PvP shooter. Just my 2 cents. You got like single player games, roguelikes, action adventures that just simply offer like more fulfilling experience in my opinion. But to each their own. Everyone's gonna just do their own thing. But overall, good video. I like it, and I don't know. I like these videos when people just talk in general about FPS games. I think it just adds to the conversation. But yeah, another good one, and hopefully comes out with more. But that's pretty much it for me on this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.